This is the Unsafe series for Osotogari.
So it was only after I started editing this video that I realized there were some really important prerequisites and context I should add into this in the beginning. I'm going to link like a couple of studies that talk about injuries in judo. Specifically, one of them is about ACL injury patterns in Japanese judo players from a nationwide insurance database, and the other one is about deaths during judo classes over the span of like 27 years in Japan. Regarding the deaths, a lot of that has to do with a Japanese training culture because judo is actually really safe outside of Japan. That will be a different discussion. We're not going to get into that, but it's interesting to look at what a lot of how a lot of those deaths happened. Majority of them are head injuries, and Osotogari is like one of the major reasons for those deaths and head injuries occurring. The ACL injury study basically shows Osotogari is like the number one the number one cause of ACL injury, and Kosoto is also another cause. Most of what I say in this video will also apply to Kosoto. I'm probably not going to make a video about it, but you just kind of have to like take those mechanics and apply it to Kosoto also. One thing I also did not mention in the recording of the video was the absolute safest way of doing Osoto is to make sure you finish the throw standing and do it in a calf to calf kind of reaping motion. So you finish in like a very traditional uchikomi style of Osotogari. But in reality, it's really, really hard to get into that position. So you will see people doing it on the side. That's how most people are going to do it in reality, which is why we made this video. The other thing about the study is majority of those injuries happen in Kenkayotsu. So for those who don't know what Kenkayotsu means, it means left versus right stance, which is how the side reap happens all the time, which is what we're showing in this video. If you're a recreational, just you don't want to hurt your partner, try to hop in and finish it in a calf to calf position and don't drive your weight into the reaping leg and try to finish the throw standing. That will be like really, really safe. Otherwise, competitive training, then you probably want to just beware of the risks that we talk about in this video.
Osotogari is one of the most commonly first taught throw to beginners, but there are a lot of hidden dangers that they're not familiar with. One of the reasons that it seems very safe is because most beginners don't do it right. So they don't even land it. They're just kind of like, like that. So they don't land it right. In order for it to become dangerous, there has to be really close contact between the two bodies. I would basically have to reap it from a weird angle, okay? I'm not going to go too much into detail regarding that part. I'm just going to go over how it usually happens. The knee is not meant to be bent it's only meant to be bent one way, these directions, right? And even if so, it's not meant to go beyond a certain point if you go this way. That's not the backwards direction. It's not really going to happen with Osotogari. It usually happens more with Harai, when people just kick people's knee out that way. But with Osotogari, you really have to watch out for if there's in the students, if there's a strength mismatch. So I'm literally able to pull him so all his weight is on that leg. Now if I chop, especially with minimal surface area contact onto the side of the knee, then he's going to blow his ACL or MCL or something. Another thing that you should be careful about is you're often going to find some students are locked up into this position right here and they're fighting for control. Now one of them, if I get his posture all the way off to the side and I sink my weight onto this leg, I don't keep this up, and I go bam like that with my whole body weight, I'm going to go right into his knee, okay? This is something that I think happens more to intermediate people because they get into that position more often. One way to keep yourself safe is if you ever find yourself in that position, just fall backwards. Again, recreational judo.
It's one of the things where it's like, just take the throw.
Yeah, just take the throw. Once you're here, if you start fighting back, or if the angle changes, like he tries to counter me and I change this angle, then there's another thing that can happen, right? So whenever there's a kind of fight for position there, that's really dangerous. As a tori, what I can do is avoid putting my weight onto this leg here and just blocking it. It's kind of like a sideways Tayatoshi at that point, right? Mm-hmm. You did a Tayatoshi video about blocking the knee. So you can keep your partner safe by keeping weight onto this leg. Basically, it's really difficult to sit my weight onto there when I have this leg loose and I'm focusing on reaping. Number 2 thing you can do is maximize the surface area that's contacting with his leg. So instead of going across his knee where I only have this like X point that's connecting, I want it to be fully connected as much as possible. That way it's distributing all the force that I'm applying across the whole leg instead of directly into just this one point. It also makes it easier to actually sweep the leg, right?
The point of the move is to sweep the leg.
Yeah. For more advanced people is just don't reap the leg when he has most of his weight here. You wanna, I'm gonna hold him here so I can hold him in place. You wanna have him off balance like this, so some of his weight's already on you. So when I do reap the side of the leg, it kind of turns into a harai, kind of Osotogari thing to the side, because there's no longer all that weight posted onto that leg. He's off balance already. He's already halfway to falling. I'm just sweeping you. That's how you can do Osotogari safely in that context. I'm sure everyone's heard about Kimura giving students concussions with Osotogari, right? So that's another thing that people don't really talk about is how powerful of a throw Osotogari could be if you do the whole hip, hands, body, leg all at once correctly, which you don't really see in beginners, so you don't see it happen often. But once in a while, like once in 100 throws, someone gets it right, and then you have to get this kid just head bounces off the back of the floor. So this is more about the escalation of force kind of thing, right? So beginners here, stuck, I push hard, he pushes back, I push harder, he pushes back harder. Eventually, either the joint goes, which is very unlikely here because we both can bend our legs the other way. What's more likely happens, one of us loses or gives up. And then now all that energy stored, and let's say he's going at 90% now, I let go, all that 90% is gonna snap back, and my head is more likely, especially as a beginner with underdeveloped neck muscles, it's gonna hit off the floor. Just be careful about escalating the force in that context.
All right, so I'm going to demonstrate how a bad Osotogari against a knee joint can look against this piece of wood right here. So normally we'd come straight over here, straight back, sweeping the leg out. Now here we're going as if we went sideways into the knee. So this is the side of the knee. I'm coming diagonally here instead of straight into a person. I have them, I come inside here, right there. That's what's gonna happen to someone's knee if you do Osotogari the wrong way.